Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Speak English with Mishu. I'm Emily, and today's episode is going to be deliciously practical.
Hey friends, I'm Liam, and yes, you're going to love today's topic, especially if you've ever felt nervous or unsure while ordering food in English.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever gone to a restaurant, looked at the menu, and thought, how do I say this in English? Or maybe the waiter asked you something and you didn't know how to reply.
Yep, that used to happen to me all the time when I first started learning. I remember one time I wanted grilled chicken, but I said it wrong and got something totally different. It was awkward, but also funny.
We've all been there. That's why today we'll walk you through how to order food in English step by step. From reading the menu to asking questions to placing your order confidently.
By the end of this episode, you'll know how to handle real restaurant situations in English without panic, without confusion.
So grab a cup of coffee or maybe a snack and let's get started. Because today's episode might be the most useful one yet if you love eating out.
Coming up, real phrases, real examples, role play, and lots of tasty English practice. So why aren't we talking about food in restaurants today?
Well, because ordering food in English is something almost every learner will face in real life.
That's right. Whether you're traveling, living abroad, or just visiting a local English-speaking cafe, knowing how to order food confidently is super helpful and honestly fun too.
And it's not just about food. It's about communication. When you can read a menu, ask questions, and respond to the waiter all in English, you feel more independent and fluent.
Exactly. And this topic is especially useful because it teaches real-world English, not textbook English, but the kind you hear and use every day.
Like, no one at a restaurant says, "May I kindly request a portion of poultry?" They just say, "I'll have the chicken, please."
Yes, natural, simple, polite English. That's what we're going to teach you today.
Plus, when you can order food in English, you feel more relaxed and confident in other situations, like shopping, asking for help, or even making small talk.
And let's be honest, everyone loves food. So why not learn English using something we all enjoy?
This episode will help you learn how to greet the server, how to ask for a menu, how to understand common menu items, how to order politely, how to ask questions about food or ingredients, and how to handle the bill at the end.
Step by step, you'll learn the language, the tone, and even some cultural tips to feel comfortable when ordering.
So stay with us, because next we're going to talk about the real problems learners face when ordering food in English, and why it can feel more stressful than it needs to be.
We've been there, and we're going to help you get past it.
Let's be honest. Ordering food in English might seem easy, but when you're actually standing at the counter or sitting at a restaurant table, it can feel stressful. Why does that happen?
It's because there's pressure. In most conversations, you have time to think, but in a restaurant, things move fast. A waiter asks you a question, and you're expected to answer quickly.
Yes, and when English isn't your first language, your brain needs a few seconds to catch up. But in real time, it feels like you don't have that time, so you panic.
Another problem is not knowing the menu words. You see things like over-easy eggs or medium-rare steak or side of coleslaw, and suddenly the menu looks like a puzzle.
Totally. And if you don't understand the options, you might end up saying, I'll just have the same as them, because it feels safer.
Then there's the fear of mispronunciation. You know the word lasagna, but you're not sure if you're saying it right. You hesitate, and it makes the moment feel awkward.
Or maybe the waiter asks something unexpected, like, would you like fries or a salad with that? And you freeze, not because it's a hard question, but because your brain wasn't ready.
So the real problem isn't just vocabulary, it's confidence. It's the fear of being judged or making a mistake in public.
Exactly. And let's not forget accents. Some waiters speak very fast or use local expressions you're not familiar with. that adds another layer of pressure.
You might even worry about simple things like, should I say I want or I'd like? What sounds more polite?
So, if you've ever felt nervous or embarrassed while ordering food in English, you are definitely not alone. We've felt it too. It's a common part of the learning journey.
But here's the good news. This is one of the easiest problems to fix. With a little preparation, practice, and the right phrases, you can feel confident and calm every time.
In the next part, we'll break down the emotional and logical causes behind this fear, and then we'll guide you step by step through the solutions.
Let's take the fear out of food ordering for good. All right, we've talked about how ordering food in English can feel scary, but now let's go deeper. What's really behind that fear? Why does such a simple situation feel so stressful?
First, let's look at the emotional side. When you're sitting in a restaurant and the waiter is standing there waiting for your answer, your brain goes into fight or flight mode. It's like, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to make a mistake.
Yes, and that stress creates a block. Even if you know the English words, your brain can't access them in that moment. You freeze, you mumble, or you just point at the menu.
That emotional pressure builds because many learners are afraid of being judged. They think, what if I say it wrong? What if they laugh at me? And those thoughts stop you from speaking confidently.
Now let's look at the logical causes. First, there's often a lack of preparation. Learners study grammar, vocabulary, and reading, but they don't practice real-life situations like ordering food.
Exactly. So when they finally face that moment in real life, it feels new and unfamiliar. And unfamiliar situations always feel more difficult.
Another reason is not knowing the structure of restaurant conversations. Most learners don't realize that food ordering follows a pattern. There are common questions and responses you can prepare for.
Also, many learners don't practice listening to real conversations. So when the waiter speaks quickly or uses casual language, it sounds confusing, even though it's simple.
And then there's decision fatigue. You open the menu, see 40 different dishes, and now your brain has to translate, choose, and speak all at the same time.
No wonder it feels hard. You're multitasking in a second language while people are waiting. That's a lot of pressure.
So, let's sum it up. Emotionally, you feel fear, embarrassment, and pressure. Logically, you're not used to the situation, you may not know the vocabulary, and you're unprepared for the speed of the conversation.
But the good news is, every single one of these problems can be solved. You don't need perfect English. You just need to feel calm, know a few key phrases, and build a little routine in your brain.
And that's exactly what we're going to teach you next. Let's move into practical action with solution number 1, how to start your restaurant experience the right way.
Let's go. All right, let's talk about the beginning, the moment you walk into the restaurant. That's where everything starts, and it's also where many learners feel unsure.
Yes, that first interaction can set the tone for the whole experience. But if you learn a few common phrases, you'll feel confident right from the start.
So let's begin with greeting the staff. When you walk in, someone might say, "Hi, how many?" or "How many in your party?" They're simply asking how many people will be eating.
You can reply with, "Just one, 2 people please, we're 4." Simple and clear.
Next, they might ask, "Would you like a table or a booth?" A booth means a soft bench seat, usually more private. If you don't have a preference, just say, "Anything is fine, thank you."
Then comes the question, would you like to sit inside or outside? And again, keep it simple. Outside, please, or inside is perfect.
Now, once you're seated, the waiter might hand you a menu and say something like, "Here's the menu. I'll be back in a few minutes."
Or they might ask, can I get you started with something to drink? This is your chance to order water, soda, coffee, or juice. You can say, just water for now, thank you. I'll have a coffee, please.
Here's a quick tip. If you need more time to look at the menu, Say, "We need a few more minutes, please." Or, "Could you come back in a minute?"
Exactly. That gives you space to relax and read the menu without pressure.
And speaking of menus, it's okay to ask questions. You can say, "What's in this dish? Is this spicy? Can I get this without onions?"
These small phrases help you stay in control and feel more comfortable. You don't need perfect grammar, just polite and clear words.
So, to start your restaurant experience right, greet the staff with a smile, say how many people, choose your seat or say you don't mind, order a drink or ask for more time, ask simple questions about the menu.
With just these tools, you already sound confident and polite. And the best part? You're using real-life English, not textbook phrases.
In the next part, we'll go step by step through placing your actual food order, what to say, how to say it, and how to do it like a pro.
Let's eat. I mean, let's learn. Now it's time for the main event, ordering your meal. This is the part most learners worry about. But once you learn the flow and a few polite expressions, it becomes simple and even enjoyable.
Let's begin with the most common question from the waiter. "Are you ready to order?" You can reply with confidence, "Yes, I'll have the grilled chicken, please." Or, "I'd like the veggie burger with fries."
Notice those key phrases, "I'll have" and "I'd like." These are polite and very natural. Much better than just saying, "Give me the chicken."
Yes, tone matters. Saying "I'll have" shows confidence and respect. And if you're still deciding, you can say, "I need a few more minutes, please."
Also, many menus offer choices. For example, the waiter might ask, "Would you like soup or salad with that?" Here's how you can reply. "Soup, please," or "Salad sounds good."
If you want to customize your order, use phrases like, "Can I get it without cheese?" Or, "Could I have the dressing on the side?" Is it possible to change the fries to vegetables?
Waiters in English-speaking countries are used to these questions. You won't sound difficult, you'll sound smart and clear.
Here's another one. Let's say the menu says spaghetti with meat sauce. You can say, "I'll have the spaghetti, but can I get it with tomato sauce instead?"
It's polite, simple, and helpful.
And don't forget about portions. If you're unsure about the size, you can ask, "How big is the portion?" Or, "Is it enough for one person?"
Also, if you want a recommendation, just ask, "What do you recommend?" Or "What's popular here?"
This shows confidence and also helps you discover something new on the menu.
So let's practice. I'll play the role of the server, and you be the customer. "Hi there. Are you ready to order?"
Yes, I'd like the grilled salmon with rice, please.
"Would you like soup or salad with that?"
I'll have the soup, please. And can I get the sauce on the side?
"Of course. Anything to drink?"
Just water, thanks.
Perfect. See? It's not about perfect grammar. It's about speaking clearly, politely, and with a bit of preparation.
In the next part, we'll look at how to handle follow-up questions and unexpected situations, like when the restaurant is out of something or you didn't understand the question.
Because even when things don't go perfectly, you can still stay calm and confident. Let's explore that next. Okay, you've placed your order, everything seems fine, and then suddenly the waiter asks something you didn't expect. This is the part that can throw learners off, right?
Absolutely. You're feeling good, and then the waiter says, "We're actually out of that today. Would you like something else?" And you freeze.
But here's the thing, you don't need to panic. Let's talk through a few common surprises and how you can respond to them with ease.
First, when the restaurant is out of an item, the waiter might say, "Sorry, we're out of the grilled chicken today." You can respond, "No problem, I'll have the pasta instead." Or, What do you recommend as an alternative?
Second, when they ask follow-up questions. For example, would you like white or brown rice with that? Just repeat part of the question in your answer. Brown rice, please.
Another one is, would you like to add a drink or dessert? If you're not interested, you can say, no thank you, or not this time, thanks.
And here's a big one. What if you didn't understand the question at all? Take a breath and say politely, sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't catch that. Could you say it again slowly?
Most people will gladly slow down or rephrase. And if you're still unsure, try, could you explain what that means? Or, is that like a starter or a main dish?
Remember, asking questions doesn't make you look weak. It makes you look interested and polite. It shows you're making an effort to understand.
Also, don't feel bad about saying, I'm still learning English. That simple sentence can help others be more patient and supportive.
Another situation is when the waiter checks on you during the meal and says, how is everything? You can say, it's great, thank you. Or if something's wrong, say, it's a bit cold. Could I get a warmer one? Sorry, I think I ordered this without onions.
The goal is to stay calm, smile, and keep the conversation simple. You don't need perfect sentences, just clear and respectful words.
And the more you practice these situations, the easier they'll feel in real life.
Next up, we're going to show you a full role play, from entering the restaurant to paying the bill. You'll hear natural phrases and get a chance to repeat along.
It's time to put everything we've learned into action. Let's practice together in the next part. Now it's time to bring everything together with a full role play. Emily and I will act out a restaurant scene from walking in to ordering to paying. Listen carefully to the words, tone, and rhythm.
And if you want, you can pause after each line and repeat out loud. It's a great way to practice natural conversation.
All right, I'll play the waiter and Emily will be the guest. Let's begin. Hi, welcome to Sunny Cafe. How many people today?
Just one, please.
Great. Would you like a table or a booth?
A booth would be nice.
Right this way. Here's your menu. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Are you ready to order?
Yes, I'll have the grilled chicken sandwich with a side of salad, please.
Would you like something to drink?
Just water for now, thanks.
Sure thing. And would you like any dessert after your meal?
Not this time, thank you.
How was everything?
It was really good, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. Here's your check. You can pay at the front when you're ready.
Perfect, thanks again. See, that's how a real conversation flows in a restaurant. It's not too formal, it's polite, friendly, and easy once you know the phrases.
You don't need long or complex sentences, just confidence, basic vocabulary, and a calm tone.
Practice the scene out loud with a friend or even by yourself. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes.
Coming up next, we'll look at a few key words and phrases from this conversation. We'll explain them clearly so you can remember and use them.
All right, now let's go over some useful vocabulary and phrases we used in that restaurant roleplay. These words are simple, common, and super practical.
First phrase, how many people? This is what the host says when you walk in. They want to know how many are in your group. You can reply, just one. 2 people, please.
Next is table versus booth. A table is just a regular seat. A booth usually has a long bench and feels more private. You can say, a booth would be nice. Or, either one is fine.
Here's a key one. Are you ready to order? This means it's time to choose your food. You can respond with, yes, I'll have the chicken sandwich, please. Or, not yet. Could I have a few more minutes?
Next phrase, what would you like to drink? Your answer could be, just water, thanks. I'll have orange juice.
Let's not forget this one. How was everything? This is a polite way to ask if you enjoyed your meal. You can reply, "It was great, thank you," or "really tasty."
And then we heard, here's your check. Check is the American word for the bill, the amount you have to pay. In the UK, they usually say bill instead of check.
A few more helpful terms. Side of salad, a small portion of salad that comes with your main dish. Dessert, sweet food you eat after the meal, like cake or ice cream. To go, or takeaway, if you want your food packed to take with you. Example, can I get this to go?
These are the small but powerful phrases that make your English sound real and confident. And when you practice them out loud, your memory improves fast. So here's a quick tip. Write down your favorite phrases from this episode and say them 5 times out loud every day this week.
In the final part of our episode, we'll wrap it all up with a motivational recap and a little challenge for you to try. Ready?
We've covered a lot today, from walking into a restaurant to ordering food, handling surprises, and even paying the bill. I hope you're feeling more confident already.
That's right. Remember, ordering food in English is a skill you can master with practice. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn.
The key is to stay calm, use simple phrases, and speak politely. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
And don't forget to listen to real conversations, watch videos, or even try ordering food in English when you can. Every little step helps.
Here's a challenge for you. Next time you go to a restaurant, try using at least 3 new phrases you learned today.
And if you don't have a restaurant nearby, practice by role-playing with a friend or speaking out loud to yourself.
If you liked this episode, please subscribe to Speak English with Mishu so you don't miss out on future lessons.
And share this episode with anyone who wants to improve their English for real life.
We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with your favorite phrase or a story about ordering food in English.
Thanks for spending this time with us. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now.